Okay, there's a guy who assaulted me back in January, and I tried to press charges against him for assaulting me. This is a man I'd gone to the Dual County Sheriff's Department on multiple occasions about. He had threatened my life a couple of occasions earlier. So 2 nights ago, I went to Pumpkin Pantry, and this is a place where back in January, after he assaulted me and I let the cops know, I ran into him 3 times at Pumpkin Pantry. The first 2 times I was in there sitting at a table eating breakfast when he came in, and he claimed because of that I was stalking him. Yeah, seriously. Because I was already there when he came in, I must have been stalking him. The third time, a friend of mine here in town let me borrow his vehicle to get us breakfast. Me, him, and his girlfriend down at Pumpkin Pantry. When I got to Pumpkin Pantry, I saw this guy who had assaulted me come out of Pumpkin Pantry, so I locked the doors on the vehicle. He added that to pretend I was stalking him. Nasty. So then, 2 nights ago when I saw him, I was going into Pumpkin Pantry, and I hadn't seen him, and I looked up, and there he was. So I took a step back and let him go on his way, and then I went up to go into Pumpkin Pantry, and he was calling to me. Now, there should be a protection order in place here, especially after the man assaulted me. However, the Dual County Sheriff's Department wanted to make sure that I couldn't. I can't go to the Dual County Sheriff's Department about anything, which is something I've been trying to explain for a while. So this guy, in order to avoid any sort of physical altercation, he called me. I turned around, he wanted to shake hands. I didn't really want to, but I allowed it. He didn't let go. Just kept on holding on to my hand, telling me that he doesn't have a problem with me. Well, if he didn't have a problem with me, then why did he threaten to kill me twice and then assault me? Now, I have no idea what happened with the man. I don't know what his court stuff was like. I know that I tried to turn him in for assaulting me, and I went to jail for 7 months. Sorry, I went to prison and jail for 7 months because he claimed that I stalked him. So I've been told I should sue the Dual County Sheriff's Department. I was told that by a public defender. Yay. If a public defender thinks you should sue, well, most of the time they don't. Now, the public defender that I did have, his name is Robert Harvoy. He's not the one. That guy wasn't interested in defending me at all. At all. Matter of fact, he went out of his way. And she is from Scotts Bluff. Now, they charged me with 4 different crimes, and they had to drop charges on all 4 of them because there's no evidence. But it doesn't matter because all of the evidence that I have against them, a lot of it has what's called a statute of limitations. You only have a limited amount of time to take them to court. There's also this thing called double jeopardy. That guy who had assaulted me, if he got to win his court date because I was illegally prevented from going because I was illegally incarcerated, well, he can't be tried again. How screwed up is that? Meanwhile, here I am in a podunk town. There's nowhere for me here. I got a gentleman who's doing his best to, well, he's not taking care of me, but he's allowing me a couple of days here to get my affairs in order. I'll probably be stuck in the area for a little while at least. Hopefully no longer than 2 months. Hopefully a lot less than 30 days, but we'll see what happens. Now, there's also the deputy in specific. Here's one of the tricks that they use. When you try to turn somebody in, they charge you with a crime and lock you up, and while you're locked up, you can't do anything. Not unless you have a real lawyer. I don't have a real lawyer. So they got away with it. Now, the guy who had assaulted me should have gone to jail. There should have been a protection order in place immediately. However, there wasn't. And because of that, the 3 times that I saw him at Pumpkin Pantry back in January, he got to pretend like I was stalking him. No. Ain't gonna be friggin' stalking nobody. Why would I go to the cops and pretend like I'm fucking some sort of POS who's gonna go doing that stuff? It don't make no sense. However, Dula County Sheriff's Department, they're a crooked department. I got a friend of mine who's getting ready to start working there. He's been a officer in Sydney and also a state patrol officer. I think it sucks that he's going to work for Dula County. I told him he should run for sheriff. He said he's not going to do that. He doesn't want the responsibility. Anyway, I've been going through my electronics. They logged me out or locked me out of nearly all of my electronics and the accounts that were attached to them. So, sorry, I'm looking out the window. It's actually kind of nice out. I've been trying to get back into my electronics, get my accounts back in order. That way I could go through the evidence that I need to. There's a lot of it. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to saving lives here soon. But here's the thing. I gotta find a place that's safe. A place that's safe for me and a place that's safe for my evidence. The police don't look at any of the evidence that I have against any of my predators. Even when I take it in person, they kind of treat me like, like they're doing it just so they can appease me. They're not actually interested in investigating anything. And that's if they're willing to appease me. Most of the time they're not. A lot of the things that they were telling me that are illegal for me to do, I'd asked them if those things were illegal before. Well, apparently they're not illegal if other people do them to me. But it's illegal if I do it back. That's just stupid. If it's illegal, it should be illegal for everybody. Kind of like slavery. Slavery is illegal. It should be illegal for everyone, including the government. Now, according to our Constitution, slavery is actually legal. That's the 13th Amendment. This is the one that supposedly freed all the slaves. It didn't. It made it legal for state-run slavery as long as you're convicted of a crime. Now, for me, spending all that time locked up when I'm not convicted of anything is pretty screwed up. But there's also the number of people who have to perform. People who have to go out and do manual labor because they're convicted. Whether they're guilty or not is pretty much arbitrary. You don't have to be guilty to go to jail or prison. Matter of fact, a pretty girl can send you there over her opinion. No joke. With men, it's different. Even if you have overwhelming evidence, you still have to find a way to get those stupid pigs to take a look at the evidence. That's easier done when you have help, when you have someone go in with you. But even when you have someone go in with you, that person has to push too. That person has to let them know, hey, this is something that needs to be taken care of. When they just sit there looking stupid, it doesn't help out anybody, least of all you. And it doesn't help them out either, because the laws that we need to be fighting for, well, if you look away and that person gets incarcerated, then they come for you. And who's going to do something about that? Nobody. Some of y'all might have heard of Martin Niemöller. He had a poem called When They Came. I recommend listening to that poem. or reading it, depending on what access you have. It's about Nazi Germany. It's World War II. A lot of people don't know the difference between World War I and World War II. They think they were both against the Nazis, but really, World War I was against Kaiser Wilhelm II. That was over the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. World War II, well, it was a different regime because Kaiser Wilhelm II was not ousted by the French or the English or the Americans. The German people kicked him out. Said, we're not going to have one of those again. And then there was a power struggle. And that's how Adolf Hitler came to power. A lot of people say I shouldn't compare what's going on to what happened in Nazi Germany, but I have to. I really do. I see how the poor are treated, how the physically and mentally disabled are treated. I see how a lot of human beings are treated, and you know what? Most of it ain't good. I gotta try to get something going to take these people to court. I don't know how it's all gonna work out, but I do know that if I do nothing, it's like saying it's okay, and it's not. I also gotta trim my mustache, obviously. Anyway, y'all be safe, stay out of trouble, or don't get caught. Now let's see if I can figure out how to end this.